You would like to learn how to model a watch? Well, what a coincidence. Now we're going to make a concept model of an Apple iWatch 6. This is a pretty simple yet interesting design and has few quite nice details. We will in Blender create a concept model, so completely sketch-free, unlike how we would work in Alias, Rhino, or Fusion. And we will borrow a lot of Fusion surfacing or NURB surfacing techniques applied to how to create this model here in Blender. But before we jump right into it, let's go back to this, or let's go to this folder. So what do I have here? This is the Accessory Design Guideline for Apple Devices PDF from, well, Microsoft. Obviously Apple. And inside this PDF, they have lots of boring stuff. But then the interesting pages is where we get pictures, because we don't like to read text, we want pictures. So on these PDFs, they actually then show all the important proportions and interactive or interface details. For example, here for an Apple Watch. So when you create a casing around it, you know what to do and what not to do. These documents are freely available online, so feel free to do it. I will share here this iWatch SVG, which is actually an extracted version of only the different views I need. For example, the front view, the back view, side views, another view. And then here I have another front view. And we will start working with this iWatch. The download link for these files is inside the video. I'm going to use Blender 3.0, so please go ahead and download it, and let's get started. So once you open the file here, you will see that we have various, or two views actually, a side and a front view. These are SVGs. These are not pixel images or screenshots, meaning when I go into edit mode, it's kind of like Illustrator, this is your vector of lines. What is very useful about this is, well, first I can zoom in and they're always super sharp. Plus I can snap to them because it's actual geometry. Really great to have this. So we have from the side the two views. We don't really have the top view. That one is missing here on purpose. The file you have downloaded too. Let's bring this one in. So we go to File, Import, and then it is Scale Vector Graphics. And here you would like to import the front view and import SVG. And there it is. Okay, you see now here, there is a lot. That's normal. So this SVG is created out of, well, all the individual elements, which is kind of insane. So what we do is press AA, so nothing is selected. Then we press B, draw a selection over all these objects. I can shift click maybe this line to make it active. So you see it has a different color. And then we go Object, Join, and you see it's all joined into one piece. Very good. Where is this element? That's something there. And this one, no idea what these two are. Okay, well, let's delete them. There. Goodie. So now we need to center this where we have the rest, and we need to get this into scale. That's actually super easy also with an SVG object. So first thing, we would like this to be centered. To do this, we can go into edit mode, so via tab, and then here I select these maybe 4 points there. And if this document is done cleanly, this really should be kind of like at the center of these two lines. Shift S, cursor to selected, and then in object mode, right click and origin to 3D cursor. And there's no 3D cursor. Now here we can set this to 0. Let's go to the object. There we are. Cursor to world origin. Let's scroll around and it is not big enough. That's cool. Okay. Here we have an object 44.08 millimeters. Let's make sure our scene is set to millimeters. It is very good. And this watch is wide 37.84 millimeters. That means we can simply add a plane. And then this plane should be along the x-axis, 37.84, and along the y-axis, 44.08. Okay, so now this object, I need to, with S, scale up till it fits in. Ooh, the center point was not even. You see how the lines here are off? Okay. Yeah, good. So what's down here? This is pretty close. This is also pretty close. So I will now press G and X along the x-axis and try to center this. There we are. Let's take a look. A tick too big. Okay. These SVGs or illustrations are not perfect. So keep that in mind. So where we are right now, that's kind of good. We can call this top. And we will drag this one into here. Very good. There now we have actually the top view. Beautiful. Now this is something we can work with. Okay, very nice. This plane we can delete because actually the scene now is set up. And what should we always do? Go File and Save As. And I make this a copy. iWatch New. There, because I don't want to overwrite the previous version. And we can also turn compress on. There we are. Very good. Now to model this. From the front and from the side, it looks like it's just a cube that has rounded edges. Okay, let's do a quick test. Here, this collection we can delete, this we can collapse. I click on scene collection, so if I now bring in something, it will be inside the scene, not the iWatch SVG collection. Add new plane, and here we do the same, 37.84 by 44.08, and then this we will apply to the scale. Go to the front view. I press 1 on the numpad, go into edit mode, A, E to extrude, and then we go down. Yeah, how far do we go down? I will bring it to here for the moment. I have actually vertex snapping turned on. And I can bring this down and I hold the control key and snap simply to this lower edge. Z and wireframe. Very good. Now I can see, yep, this is kind of like, okay, here is another sensor. We're going to skip the sensor. We'll pretend that that thing doesn't exist. Okay, very good. Now, Z and to this view. And at this point, you might realize, why is this cube red? It's not a new function in Blender, but I just realized this was saved in the Madcap. Studio is kind of like what you know. This is like nice and gray. But when we go to Madcap, we can kind of like project various materials over it. They are quite useful, like reflective materials and so forth. So I will go here to this kind of like this type of matte material. It's actually very similar to the one we have in Alias for studying the highlights on it. You see there the highlights on it, and it's very useful when we create organic surfaces to check how do the highlights change over a surface. So this plane now we will call well, we know this is an iWatch, so we can call this box template. Okay. Shift D and escape. So we make a copy. And then we can call this bevel study. Then let's go into edit mode. I will go to edge select and select all the vertical edges we will give all these edges a value of 1 for the bevel. That means if I now add a bevel modifier and set this to weight and maybe 10, you see only the vertical edges around it. Pretty good. Let's go into a top view, zoom into one detail, maybe here. So now I can see a value of 10 is nice, but we can see that this arc starts somewhere here. So what about we go amount 11? Yeah, maybe better. What about 12? Yeah, it's maybe even better. So segments, let's say 10, 20. Yeah, 20 looks good. But we see that this does not touch actually the sketch. So let's go to profile and play with the shape. And then we can pull this closer. So here's one problem or limit we will face. This part of the sketch or these corners is actually flat. So the rest is nice and round and then gets flatter. That is actually difficult to do here. But again, everything what we try to do in Blender is teaching you or exploring how can we use Blender to make a quick mockup. And a mockup is not meant to make a perfect manufacturing model, which is more time consuming. With a mockup, we want to get a proportional study that is maybe not as precise, but faster. Okay, so we will have to do a compromise. Maybe 0.6. Yeah, it's maybe too far. 0.58. 0.59. Yeah, let's say it this way. You see here, this actually looks pretty good. Just there, it's off. And then there, it's pretty good. Okay, so the top is nice. But how do we do now the side? Okay, well, all these edges are sharp. So I can go ahead, go add another bevel command. So now I do another fillet feature, for example, in Fusion. And this time here we say, well, round everything that has an angle. Such a devil's word. Sometimes it's angle or angel. So confusing. Why did they need to pick like two words that actually are so similar? Anyway, I rant over. Let's say 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters. You see then there it fuses together, 5 millimeters. Let's go segments 10. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look actually too bad, we could say. Ooh. In object mode, right click and say shade smooth. And there we can see. Yeah, it looks actually quite nice, no? Since we're here at something at this stage, let's go maybe to the metallic view. That's quite nice because we can take a look at just how the highlights go over this object. And when I rotate over this corner, I'm paying attention to, does this highlight change the size when I go over the rounded corner? And it does not, which means the flow of that corner is actually really good. Okay, so nerd alert. For those who would like to know it, let's go into edit mode. And then we go to here and turn on mesh analysis. And then we set this to sharp and -5 and 5. So what is going on here? This is actually in Fusion, the curvature map. Basically, it tells me what is the relationship from face to face. How much do they change the flow? I can make this a little bit bigger or smaller. I can make this maybe bigger. Yeah. Okay, then I have this not gray anymore. There we can see something is funny going on here. I will explain this. And here we see, this looks pretty much the same, and then something happens. And this is actually very accurate. So this is flat. then it starts to bend, then it really bends a lot, and then it stops bending till it's flat again. So this curvature map actually visualizes how the surface deforms. So when I go to here and change this, there you see how, ooh, looks like funny party stuff. Anyway, so very, very useful, not super precise like in Fusion, but again, we can have something similar like in Fusion, but still very useful. Okay, good. And when I go back to here, look at what we have here. Zebra. It's not Madagascar, the movie, but something similar. So what are these lines actually for? Well, they can tell me, is there anywhere a distortion? There's actually no visible distortion because we modeled this really perfectly smooth. If I go over to here and there, kind of like can see how there is some sort of a kink happening, but between here, this is all good. Anyway, so these are called, Alias uses a good name. These are called surface analytical shaders. These are materials, if you want to think about it this way, that help me to observe or analyze the quality or the surface flow of a surface. Okay. That was really a lot of geek talk. I know I needed to get these words out. That's actually what my wife says all the time. So many words to say. I will set this to 6 and making an issue even worse. And let's then leave object mode. Okay. And yeah, let's take a look. Or we'd say, wow, sweet. Shift D and escape. Let's make a copy. And then here, this bevel command we will apply. Means now we have the actual geometry. Then we do this here one more time too. Apply. Only geometry. The fillet is gone. Now I can actually really cleanly see how does everything flow. There's actually a really beautiful flow. You might have noticed that, or you might recall, here I said something, there was some sort of funny business happening. So we rounded the top and we rounded the bottom, and this meant that right here we have two edges actually sitting on each other. That's not very good. So what can we do? We in edit mode press A, select everything, and then we go to mesh, clean up, merge by distance. Yes, there. Beautiful. Yeah. Now actually the analytical shader works even better. When we put in, just for the sake of demo, don't do this, just watch it. If I put in more loop cuts, you see how the orange then turns really into more red, because basically this is not bending at all. And also, well, but this bends. But the thing where the difference is, this face to this face to this face, the amount of bending is super equal. But here it's not, because this is small and it starts bending more and more and more. You take a look from the top. Now, there you can see this. Or actually here, this piece is really good to explain it, because this doesn't look like a circle. It looks round, but it's not a circle. A circle would be red, because it's super even circular path. Anyway, I think I'm geek talking again, so let's leave this. So this is actually a really good study. We can call this maybe bevel study baked. Now let's turn on our reference images. Let's go into wireframe mode, click on it, and then let's do an overlay. A little bit off here. Oh, this is really not good. So this is really heavily off. Let's go to a top view. Oh, look at that. We are actually really close to even the geometry lines they have. We are tick off here, but the rest is pretty spot on. Yeah, cool. Before we continue, let me hide this and then, yeah, turn this one on and click this one. What is going on here? Well, welcome to the way how Apple documents how a surface, a curve, a line, or whatever bends. So you see here from this point to here, and then they go further over. This is like the height point, and then this is the width point. So with this, they basically document when you make a curve, it has to run through all these points. And yeah, now we're close. We're not exactly 100%, but again, this is more for a demo part. In Fusion, I would create a spline that then ideally as close as possible runs through it, but it's also more labor work. And you see already that creating this body was pretty good. I mean, I know I'm already talking 10 minutes about surface shaders and all this stuff. So let's continue refining the surface. So the problem is, from the front all looks good, but from the side this doesn't look good. Shoot. So what do we do? Welcome to borrowing our knowledge from Fusion and apply this to Blender. Okay, let's make a copy. Shift D, escape. We call this not bevel, we will call this surface study. Surface blend study. There. Then we hide this. Actually, all this I can turn off too, so they don't pop up. Let's go into edit mode. Right click and there, right click and, sorry, not right click. Control R, left click, right click, Control R, left click, right click. Then I go into wireframe mode. AA, select nothing. B, select all this. X and bye-bye. Then I select B and select all this. X and delete all the vertices. Very good. Okay. So what we have now, that what's really important is actually these two lines, because from here to there, I would like to blend in a new surface. But before we do this, I also from here to here need to blend in a new surface. So these two lines I have here, I will do the following. E and X, and I move them a little bit like this. Okay, very good. Then we can go to face select, select all these faces, X and delete. Okay, back to point select. We turn on now this. I will select these 4 points on the top face, go to side view, and yeah, let's say we keep this one there, but AA, B, select this one, we move this one back to here. Or maybe a little bit to there. You see that this point sits on this line. AA to deselect everything. We do the same here, a little bit to there. Okay, good. So here now comes the interesting part. Click, 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 click. So these front edges, and now we will create a blend surface. In Fusion, that would be the loft surface with G1 or G2. I go to this view, edge, bridge edge loops, cut 15, interpolation blend surface. Wow, you see now this is not circular around. This is actually more organic. Then with the smoothness, we can adjust this and get it close to there. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, no? If we are honest. Goody. Okay. Now, one little geek. Where are you? Where are you? Mesh in there. Okay, well, the flow is pretty good. I would like to select these two and then I bring them over a little bit. These two, bring them over a little bit. These two a little bit down, a little bit over. So you see I'm trying to follow actually the path, the outline a little bit more. Can go to a side view. Oh, I have to make sure AA SX SZ00 so they're all straight. I can also, I'm in wireframe mode, simply drag through them and I very gently push these points actually back so they follow ideally that path. And I always press AA and then B and over this. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. Very nice. Then AA U. Wait, no, nearly made a mistake. We still need this one because this gives us this reference. So I will do the following now. AA, B, select this, Shift D, move this over R and rotate this 90 degrees. Then I will move this to here, point select, G and X, and we snap it to there. Then we bring this one up, snap it maybe, or move it into the position there. Okay. Alt click this edge, bring this over, hold Control, snap it to there. Click this point, press L to select everything, and click there. Suck. Cool. Okay. So you see this way, I have these two edges again. I also have much nicer flows. Very good. This is very red. Let's see, can we change this a little bit? Oh, I guess. Oh, might actually be pretty good. Cool. Then I'll click on these two edges, and then we do a blend again. 15 surface, and then we bring this one in till. Yeah, we kind of like have to interpolate this again. Yeah, there we are. Okay, now we can press A. Everything looks different now. Let's go back here to mesh U -5. Oh, maybe -6. -8. Okay, maximum. Yeah, I was only trying to see how does this all look. And you see nice and even. That this colors is fine. This is the way how it is supposed to be. Okay, mesh analysis off. Then here comes the next funny thing. We need to make a full model. So mirror and mirror. Now we can leave this. Go to the top view. And there we see perfect match. Side view, perfect match. Okay. Maybe turn this one off. So the process actually worked out really well. How this all flows. There's only one tiny issue I just noticed now. So you see here, doop, 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 doop. This is a little bit faceted. Here, particularly there, we can see this even more. So to fix this, and the reason why I say to fix this, how many actually do we have? Oh, we have 10. So 10, 10. So we have 20s actually there. In the baked version, there you see how many faces we have, and they're kind of small. Here, they are bigger. So that's the main reason for it. So to fix this, In theory, what I would do, I would call this a study. Shift D and escape, because I know, hey, this actually works out really good. So I would go ahead, quickly delete this. Then these two and U here I delete. I, in wireframe, select this again, and I very quickly just rebuild this part. So this might sound a little bit counterintuitive. Why do I do this now? Why didn't I do this from the beginning? Well, with the more points you have, actually the more work it is. And this way it's a tick easier. Okay, but how do I now adjust everything so it's not too crazy? There are actually some really nice tools. I am in wireframe mode. Okay, AA. Go to here, proportional editing. This is actually with the O command. Now I press B, select these points, press G, move my mouse and everything works. Look upper left corner. There it says proportional scale. If I now move my mouse wheel, I'm scrolling, it gets smaller and smaller till, look at that, there is actually a ring. Think about this ring as an influence. You see how I'm dragging points like they're magnetic. So instead of doing point by point, I just go here, AA, you're good, and you, G, there, AA, U, G, maybe a little bit smaller. Don't want to touch the start points there, done. See, that was actually super easy. Okay. So welcome to proportional editing. And then here we do the same, but now we want to turn proportional editing off. Shift D, R, RZ90. Then we snap this AA, snap this, bring this up. Can we snap it? Oh, I might have to move this down. Then I press H to hide. Select this, LX delete, Alt H to unhide. Then I select with Alt and click the two loops and do another bridge. 20 this time too. Bring this down. Yeah, very good. Let's do a check. Perfect, perfect. Look at that. That is actually really nice Class A surfacing done in Blender. And every person who works in Alias at GM and here's Blender Class A surfacing is going to throw up and laugh and go crazy. I'm no Turk. Class A basically means the perfection of surfaces. Like one surface is so aligned, it perfectly flows into the next surface for cars. Cars look very easy. No, they're not. They're actually very labor intensive. But what Class A basically means is that you have perfected flows along multiple directions, which right here we have. So this is actually a really good piece. Now this one we will call refined. Shift D and escape. And this one here we will turn off also those. We don't need to see those anymore. This mirror command now we will apply. There we are. So where did we apply it? So I can select everything and press F in the inside. Same here. Let's go nerdy one more time. Now you see everything looks a little bit different. Okay. Let's change the color. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So you see like this is red, this, which means the flow down here is actually pretty even. That, which then means if I now in object mode and I rotate, I should not along this edge which is selected see, for example, a sharp edge. Sharp edge, for example, like Like there you see there's a sharp edge. Or maybe let's change it to this. Let's turn also auto smooth on there. Now there you see a sharp edge. Looks terrible. Okay. Let's bring this back. Very nice. And there you can see if we rotate, the highlight stays kind of the same. Then it stretches. That's normal. And then we go up, it gets a little bit bigger, but it's a nice and smooth transition from big into the fillet. And also here you see how it keeps kind of like its thickness. Oh, do I like modeling? Okay, cool. Sweet. So, we actually generated a pretty good model. So this is the way how you round a cube, vertical and horizontal edges, and then you get something that, for example, looks like G2. In Blender, it doesn't have G2, it's just polygons, but the outcome here is the same. Very good. So the next step, we want to build in this detail where the top glass here separates there. It's very easy to do. Again, we do a concept model. At this point now we want to turn the nerd command off. Take a look at, so where is actually this detail? Oh, here it is. Okay, I have alt click there an edge, but I need here an edge and there an edge. Easy. Control R, click and drag this down. Control R down here, click, drag this up. Alt click on this. GG slides this edge to there, and then G0 moves it down, hold control, and there we line it up. Very good. Now this looks kind of like a soft groove. So we go to Object, Data, Normals, and Auto Smooth. Ta-da! So, with this, we actually finished modeling the top body, and then we will do the cutouts and push button and then the crown. Let's try to work really fast. So first we will surface study. No, we will actually call this now iWatch main body. And then we can make a new collection and call these studies. There we are. Bye-bye. Go to a side view, wireframe, turn this on. And we want to model this. This looks like a circle, and then there we have a line and there a line coming out. Okay. So Shift A, circle, how many points? 32. Let's go with 64. So it's nice and smooth. 4 millimeters. Along the y-axis, 90. Whoa, way too big. 2 millimeters. Okay. G, and then we bring this over. Still too big. In object mode, I simply scale it. And then I can reposition it, scale. Yeah, this looks better. Okay, then edit mode, so tab. Now I need to figure out which of these points is from here extended is going to be the tangent position. Nope, not this one. E. Yeah, this might actually be it. No, this one? Really? So what I'm looking for is, you see how this line I drew is under this point. Here, yeah, this is better. So this one here goes, these 2 points I delete. Okay. Interesting, yeah. So how about here? This whole thing, hold on, is a tick too small. Object mode, scale this up a tick. This might be easier, yeah. Then tab, edit mode again. Definitely this is going to be the piece we might not want. Geez, I'm really bad at guessing this right now. There we are. Okay, this one here, delete. Select this, L for select linked. All this 3 throw away. And then this, I move to there. This one here, I move kind of like to there. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, there was actually another point. Delete. Very good. Yeah, these 2 points. So actually AF, A select everything, F fill. This is at the center, which is fine. So we can give this a solidify modifier till it sticks out like this. Very nice. Then we can give this a mirror command along the y-axis. But why doesn't it do it? Let's see. Oh, it's rotated and has a scale factor. Okay. There we are. Whoop. What? Oh, I didn't apply the scale. Sorry, the rotation. There. Yeah, there we are. Thank you. Good. Now we can make this smaller. This I would like to bring over to the other side. So we give this a mirror modifier. Sock. Along y-axis. There. This now we can call armband socket. Okay. Here we can make a new collection and call this Boolean or trim or cutaway, abracadabra, however you would like to call this. Very good. Save, never forget. Then let's go to Boolean. And there we say cut out which object arm socket. Now later you will see there might be a long list of objects. So it can be useful when, oh, I have 2 mirrors. That's not very good. This maybe, wait, no, this was correct. Mirror and mirror, okay. Here, this one I will call ball armband. So it's very easy to find actually the object, or I can even put this at the end so that when I go to here and just type in, for example, bool, there you see it sorts the object out. Okay, good. We have a little bit of I hate it when this happens, meshing issue. So let's see how we can fix this. I have already an idea where the problem is. I go to here, Alt click to this, dissolve edge, go to here, Alt click this edge, X and dissolve edge. No, that was not it, but yeah, partially it was. You can see something else is interesting now. So it did a trim, but this is not correct. I want the inside to be not open. And why did I actually remove these edges? Well, the main reason, quick feedback, you see here there was an edge line, and here we have the edge line. This is not very good when these edges overlap. In polygon modeling, that's never a good idea. So that we fixed, but then we still have this issue. Let's go to this, and oh yeah, there's a reason. So this is blue, this is red. It's not Democrats and Republicans or North and South, East, West, or ice cream and tomato sauce. It's inside and outside. So let's go to Shift N and flip this. Press Tab, select this, press H. Yeah, close. We have this thing in here. Okay, how do we fix this? So this might be the little offender, not a big deal. We can apply this. Very good. Then let's go into edit mode. And you see there is actually this Is there a face in the inside? Yeah, there's a face. You see, so that face actually cannot really be there. Very good. So when I turn this off, now there was a face inside there. Let me there. X and delete. Chop, chop, chop. Internal face. Not very good. There. Now this is beautiful. Goodie. Okay. So socket is done. That wasn't too complicated. Save. Since we are working on this part, let's make the armband part. So, little trick. Not Shift-D, but we will do a duplicate linked. And escape. And now this difference, we switch to intersect. There. Now we have the piece that goes in there. And this we can call armband socket or base or however you want to call this. Cool. Okay. Modeling the molded part that comes out is actually quite complicated. This is something Blender with this precision is not really good for. So we will, however, also for this level, simplify this and extrude metal hooks out of it. That's easy because we just Shift S, cursor to world origin, Shift A, mesh and plane. And this goes into perspective view. It's a big rectangle. Let's make this smaller. So tap S and scale down. Scale, 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 scale. And this starts to look better. Goodie. Tap, so we're back in object mode. Move over. By the way, you can actually, in the side view, go 2 directions. There. R and rotate in object mode, not in object mode. Very good. Now I can turn on local, go into edit mode via tab, edge select, Z and wireframe, select this, move this back, and X and delete, select this, move this forward. Yeah, whatever. Then we will go to the bevel and vertice and 4 millimeters and 15. No, maybe 3 millimeters. Okay, good. Now there's a really nice line that doesn't render. We need to get this a little bit of thickness, so we will add a skin modifier. And there it is. We go into shade smooth, edit mode, so tab A, all this 0.01. Nope, 0.001. Interesting. What's going on here? Well, that's because in object mode, this has a scale factor. No, it does not. No, that is interesting. Let's see. Oh, 0.001. There we are. Mice are getting old. Then we will add a subsurface modifier to make this nice and round. Something kind of funny is going on there. Not a big problem. We need this. Oh, you see this dashed thing here? This here is not going to be our root. This is going to be our root, so mark root. So from there it grows. Yeah, there we are. So this way we can very quickly visualize the wire. It's not really circular or round, but it is doing the job. And then to mirror this over, same deal. Mirror along there and along the y-axis. I'm not sure if somebody actually watched the new Dune movie. It's really hilarious. Not hilarious. The memes are hilarious. Like the Sudoku chant, hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac, Whopper. Really good. Look it up. Could just crack myself up. Okay, very good. There. Sweet. So that was actually the hook part. Now this can be adjusted later when we model the armband. We can expand this, scale this as much as we want. The next part is how to make the button. So, der Knopf ist eigentlich sehr leicht. Den Knopf, den können wir... Oh, I was speaking German. Okay, back to English. So the button here, as you can see, is just a rectangular cross-section with rounded edges. So that means we will start with a circle. 64, yeah, that's okay. Y-axis, 90 degrees. Oh no, this location. I really need new glasses. Rotation, there. And G, we bring this over to there. Eyeball it. Edit mode, S, scale this down. AA, B, select 1/2, X, and delete. A, move this one over to there. Actually, hold on. No, undo, undo, undo till we have the full piece. S, it needs to be till there. Okay, and then AA, select everything besides the half on the right side. Then we bring this over. This is actually now where the object center has to be. So these 2 points I can select, E and Y, bring them to here, and you see this is the local orientation. So this is for X, this is Y. So if we set this to 0, oh, this is global, I meant local. Zack. You see the local object center point there, 0. Then AF, and then we fill it. Then we can do the following. We do an, oh no, yeah, how do we do this? So we need to bring this over to the other side. Yeah, okay, goody. Let's do it that way. So where is the mirror command? Along the y-axis. There we are. But let's say apply rotation. Y-axis, okay. This we apply. Okay. Then in edit mode, this I dissolve. So I have this face. The main reason is in object mode, I move this one out. In edit mode with everything selected, I will create a really tiny segment here, not too much. What's the distance actually here? Let's see. We can get really close if we set the clip distance to 0.1 millimeter. And then let's tell me 0.1, so 4. So really kind of like 1/10, 1/15 of a millimeter. Goody. That's perfect. This now we will delete. And let's turn this off. Very nice. So the next step is I will go to shrink wrap, go to surface. Sorry, on surface. Project, my fault. Project on surface along the x-axis, positive and negative. Why is this actually not doing it? Oh, I need a target. Target. This one. There, you see how this falls actually on it. Pretty cool, no? Here, Control R, move the mouse wheel maybe till, how many do I have? 20 cuts. Right click. Control R, 20 cuts. Left, right click. Okay, so more subdivisions. So what this command actually does is it folds the geometry over it. You see this? This is super useful because what I can do now is we call this button ring template. Shift-D and escape. I want to keep a copy. Now This I will apply. And I can call this button ring volume. When I go into edit mode, you see I have all these faces perfectly wrapped over that surface. E along this axis makes it a little bit longer. Let's make sure everything is orientation-wise correct. It is. Then A, and move it a little bit in. Very good. Tab to leave edit mode, right click and shade smooth. Here we call this bool at the end, bring this one in there, and then you get another Boolean bool. You see how easily it filters that stuff out. Nice. Zack. And there it cuts that space out. Pretty cool. I have actually some artifacts right here. So to help this side, I can Control R and subdivide more. I will still have artifacts, but they are more localized. Okay, little common trick if you want to do this. Goody. So the button is done. Now we have to do the crown. So the crown is actually quite interesting. Also here we could take a look at it and say, oh, it's a cylinder with rounded edges, but actually the cap is slightly arced. So it's not really just that. So let's go into wireframe. So we want something to go to there. Okay, so Shift A. We will start with a cylinder. The cylinder we make 64 cuts. Okay, good. And then in edit mode, I simply scale this one down. Okay. I'm RY and 90. Very good. In object mode, I move this one then over and position it. Kind of like there. Okay, in edit mode, then again, S scale this down. That seems now to hit the proportion. In object mode here, bring this over more to there. AA, B over this, bring this over. Alt click there, bring this over. Select everything, Shift S, cursor to selected. You see the center point is somewhere else. Tab to go into object mode, right click and 3D cursor. Okay, good. So right click, shade smooth, and I will just go into edit mode, select this edge, Control B, that's for bevel or fillet, and I could round this. Now that's a very quick way to explore the filleting. Control B again. Yeah, now and there we can see, yeah, it's not really, this rounding is okay, but we don't get this angle. We would create a pretty boring flat piece. So how do we do this the way class wants? Well, that's actually easy. You know, we made a circle that is 64 segments. So now what we will do is the following. We select this face with face select, Shift S, cursor to select it. Then Shift A, UV sphere 64, 4 millimeters. Rotate along the y-axis by 90. Okay. Move this a little bit to here. Z and wireframe. Go back to point select AA. Okay, I just wanted to know where maybe this could be. So I will select all this. To disconnect it, I can, or let's do it this way. B and select all this, X, delete, B, select this, bring this over, and S and X, and now we flatten it. You see now we get a really nice arc That means then Control R here on the midpoint. Alt click on this, we bring this back. AA, L, bring this one back. Very good. Now Alt click, Shift Alt click. Oh, this is actually still an open face, so we close face. So we have to select the face, X, and delete. Edge select, Alt click, Shift Alt click, Edge, bridge loop, Alt click. The next step is kind of important. I need to try to get this back to maybe something that looks okay. There we are. Much, much better. Okay, goody. So, yeah. So we have actually, as you see, a nice front part. Then we have this is flat, and now we can fillet this. And we we run into issues. What's going on here? Well, because this fillet will start cutting into these lines, so that doesn't work. How do we fix this? Easy. We know the tools. So this edge we can bring back to here. And then when we zoom in, we can kind of see that maybe this edge. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, X and delete, we remove. Yeah, maybe even one more. So Alt click on an edge, and then U to U, you guessed it, we patch in back. 10, I don't know how many we need. And then we can even see this is way too far. This can go to there, there, go to the top view one more time, and there, and 10. Smoothness 0.5, 0.6. Yeah. Okay, we can keep it like this. So right click and shade smooth. Yeah. So there you see now it's flat, and then it goes round, and then it goes kind of like to this part down there. We could actually do one last quick test. So here, delete all the faces, and you actually I will do this here. You delete, and L and X, and we go really crazy. We just push this from the center to the edge. Let's see. Yeah, this actually generates a much nicer result, particularly how smooth this is. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good. Let's dissolve this, not dissolve, remove this. We do this one last time, but with 15 cuts. Yeah, so the size is the same. Very good. Yeah. Because we made the loop cut here, we can alt click this X and delete, and then simply bring in the back part via the mirror command. There we are. Then we can call this crown and save. Now, how do we do the cut? And the cut should also follow the crown detail. So how do we do this? Hold on 1 second. Something is 0.1 there. To do this crown detail, we will simply copy ourselves out a little bit of an element here. So you. These two I would like to maintain. In object mode, Shift D and escape. And then here we say crown path. Or actually we can call this crown groove. Actually, put the ball behind it. So what I have selected, Control I selects the opposite, X delete edges. There you see what we have. Then, well, same thing. Skin modifier. We select everything and then 0.01, 0.001. Geez, 0.0001. Okay, shade smooth. Okay, very nice, thank you. And now here you see how I am changing the flow already a little bit. I'm extending this. Okay. Trying to match actually the width between my image and what I have there. So 0.2. Oh, this is too much. 0.000 whatever 15. Yeah. Okay. And save. Always save. So no. No rotation, no scale. It shares the same center point. So that means array modifier. Let's say 40. Object is this one. 360 divided by 40. Come on. What is that? 9. Good. So this is the x-axis. 9 degrees. There we are. Cool. Okay. Let's hide this one. Go to here. Save Boolean bool and then their crown groove. Yeah. Now crown groove needs to have maybe a little bit more of detail. So these endpoints, and actually this endpoint is good, but what needs to change is the subdivision goes 1 up. So it's not so sloppy. Yeah, better. There. That's how you make the groove. Okay. Very good. So we reached the end actually for the modeling of this for this part. This is just a concept model where basically we have the main body, the crown, the button, a detail about how the armband will be connected. Now we skipped the other stuff, the sensor, but everything is actually modeled to a pretty good accuracy and also in terms of flow, really well done. So not this typical G1 crazy corner, but actually having more nice and smooth transitions, which is why also when we go into the various modes to take a look at what we have. Oh, good. I was just talking about this. What is going on there? See that? Right there. Nothing escapes my eagle's eyes. So let's see. Interesting. So Alt B is actually a good command to make a section view. Oh, I mean, it looks actually pretty good. So I really do not know where the problem is. Oh. I have one possible idea. No, it's not. No, that is interesting. Let's go to here and this. So right there. I'm going to dissolve few lines. So oh yeah, now we can see this, how this comes down and then actually comes back again. So interesting. Yeah, so properly what I did, well, that's an easy fix actually. This is actually really good that this happened because it shows you why the shaders can be really useful, because it showed me that there was some funny business going on. And I will delete this one. I will delete this one. I'll delete all this, and we will rebuild this. And maybe what happened was simply that this value here was too much. So yeah, do this on purpose. You see how this overshot. Yeah. Yeah, it's still slightly there. Hmm. Do I love it when this happens? Yeah, let's scale this one up a little bit. And let's see, U to U. Everything worked so beautifully when I gave this a test drive. Why software? Why? Why? Okay, there. What doesn't work one way will work a different way. Yeah, very good. Maybe Control R here. Select these two, G and Z. Sorry, S and Shift X. See, I'm just scaling this up just a little bit, so it gets a little bit of roundness. But yeah, okay, goody. There we are without that annoying issue. Beautiful. And all this solved without sketches, which I think is another very good takeaway from this exercise, to show you what sketch-free concept modeling actually can be. Now with sketches, you have all the precision in the world, but it takes time to set them up. There's also a particular logic. And here we don't have the precision, and some tools are missing, but we can block out ideas really fast. Okay, anyway, that's it. Peace out. Well, after uploading the video, I noticed there was one tiny detail. This button actually sticks out a little bit. Okay, so how can we build this one? That's pretty easy. It's also a nice, good exercise. So let's do a quick cleanup here. I have to remove the parts I created. There we are. Flop. Good. Okay. So we have here the ring template. That's the original geometry for which we kept as a copy. So Shift D to make a copy, and then I will drag this one out. Very good. I can hide this. And there we are. Now we will turn off this. Go into edit mode, edge select, alt click on this edge, X and delete, A and F and fill it. Very good. And then we press E and X and extrude it in. Very nice. Cool. Okay. So now I would like to be able to, well, we need to trim that button. How do we get that button trimmed? First, right click, shade smooth and auto smooth, so we have this edge cut. And then we can see here, this is actually the same. It needs to be a tick bigger. Okay, so now I can show you how we can do an offset surface. Go into edit mode, face select, alt click on this face, and then it is alt S for scale, kind of like proportionally. And you see this then scales actually. It's actually not really a scale, it's really a shrink or grow. And we just grow this a little bit like this, so it just consumes this button in the inside. So we have this groove, which is fine, and then we have this one covering it up. So that was step one. Now we can call this maybe, yeah, ring button. There, cool. How do we now trim this one? We can take our original iWatch body, Shift D and Escape. So we make a copy. Escape for not moving it. Remove all the modifiers. Go into edit mode. Alt click this edge, X, and dissolve that edge. So it's gone. Very nice. Okay. And now this whole thing needs to be a tick bigger. In edit mode, we can actually Alt S do this one here. You see how this grows. We can actually do this also via command or modifier. So in object mode, we will add a displacement command. So displacement is basically used to displace a geometry based on a texture. Oh, that thing is huge, but without any texture input, the displacement command works like an offset. There, cool. Then actually, hold on. I want to delete this one more time. We do actually an Alt D, so we make a linked copy, not just a normal copy. The main reason is if we adjust the iWatch geometry, then this linked copy gets the update too. Okay. Here one more time, easy peasy, and displace and .00005. I think that is it. Alt B. Yeah, 05, that is like super tight. There. Okay, very good. Yeah, so what do we do with this main body? We can call this maybe offset. Well, we drag this one into our bool folder, then go to here. Boolean difference. Where is the offset body? There it is. And instead of difference, because you see that cuts the inside out, we want to keep the inside. So we use intersect. Yeah, and that's it. Now we actually rebuild or we build quickly a button, including having here a nice gap. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Okay, now we can really say save and peace out.